सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Today's topic is freedom from dependency. Freedom from emotional dependency. People in general have the experience of emotional dependency. As children, we were dependent on our parents, and other relatives. Even after we grow old, our dependency does not really go away. Even as grown-up people, we experience emotional dependency. Spiritual growth involves growing out of spiritual emotional dependency. As long as there is emotional dependency, there is problem. Emotional dependency is a characteristic sign of samsara. And freedom from emotional dependency is moksha. First of all, we will try to understand the nature of emotional dependency. There are various aspects of emotional dependency. In fact, I have listed 5 aspects. First of all, there is a need for affection, need for love. There is a craving for love. That is why many people expect their partners or friends to express love often. The husband or wife expect their partner to express love quite often. If it is not expressed properly, the individual gets dejected and it may even end up in divorce. Very often, one has to keep saying, I love you, and also devote sufficient time. Therefore, need for affection, craving for affection is a characteristic of emotional dependency. Then Second one is the need for being understood. People expect others to understand themselves. That is why the emotionally dependent people want to spend time with others. They want themselves to be heard. They want themselves to be listened. This is another need. I want to be understood. Therefore, I want to be listened. Therefore, if someone doesn't have time to me, I am not happy. This is second aspect of emotional dependency. Now the third one, need for moral validation. Someone has to keep telling me morally right. There is a need for moral support, moral validation. Then number four, need for appreciation. People should appreciate me and what I'm doing or what I'm thinking. If the wife makes a special dish and the husband does not appreciate the taste of the new dish, the wife is upset. It can happen in any relation. People should appreciate me. There is a need for appreciation. Then finally, there is a need to be needed. I want others to need me. I have a need to be needed. That is why if someone says, you are needed, I am happy. My need to be needed is fulfilled. If my need to be needed is not fulfilled, I am unhappy. These are some of the characteristics of emotional dependency. As long as there is great emotional dependency, one cannot be happy. We should understand the problems associated with emotional dependency. First of all, emotional dependency can lead to dejection because when my need is not answered properly, I can get dejected and it can sometimes lead to depression as well. There can be emotional restlessness, etc. This is the first and foremost problem of emotional dependency. Then, an emotionally dependent person cannot have healthy relationship because suppose a person is emotionally dependent and he wants to develop a relationship with another person, the relationship is going to be difficult because this person always seeks emotional support from the other person. Therefore, he or she needs more and more time from the other person, more and more attention from the other person. The wife seeks attention from the husband. Poor husband doesn't have time. He is busy with other works. Also, he needs his own space, his own privacy. But then the wife keeps nagging, "You do not have time for me. You do not love me. You do not validate me. You do not appreciate what I do." So many complaints, so much of nagging, so much of attention seeking. When there is attention seeking, the relation cannot be healthy. In due course of time, the husband may get fed up with his partner, with his wife, and he may start disliking the wife. Therefore, the relation cannot go smooth, the relation cannot grow, and sometimes it may end up in divorce as well. Therefore, a healthy relation is not possible if any of the partners is emotionally dependent. A healthy relationship is possible only when a person is an emotional contributor. Emotional contribution is a wonderful concept. Instead of being emotionally dependent, you become an emotional contributor. What is the difference between emotional dependency and emotional contribution? An emotionally dependent person seeks emotional support from the other person, whereas an emotional contributor provides emotional support for the other person. Instead of seeking emotional support. Therefore, an emotional contributor does not complain about the other person. Instead, he tries to understand the other person better. What are his needs? What are his limitations? And he tries to accept the other person as he is. He also provides enough space to the other person the other person needs privacy. Therefore, I should not keep nagging the person always. With all these understandings, he tries to keep the other person happy, speaking proper words, speaking sweet words, and trying to help in whatever way possible. This is emotional contributor. A healthy relationship can grow only if two people become emotional contributors to each other. That is why, in our tradition, when a wedding is conducted, they chant a mantra. They describe the bridegroom as Narayana Swarupa, Sakshan Narayana Swarupaya Varaya. And the bride is described as Lakshmi, Saksha Lakshmi Swarupinim Kanyam. That means both the partners, even in the relation of marriage, have to be spiritually mature. An amount of spiritual maturity is expected between both the partners. That is when the relationship can flourish. Therefore, a healthy relation is not possible without freedom from emotional dependency. Now, how to be free from emotional dependency? First of all, one has to practice emotional contribution. Be an emotional contributor in any relation. Practice of emotional contribution in a relation can lead to freedom from emotional dependency. There are certain points that need to be taken care of when we practice emotional contribution. First of all, one has to make this resolve. I will try to understand the other person. What are his needs? What are his interests? And what are his preferences? What are his limitations? I try to understand the other person. Let me try to understand the other person better. This is first resolve. And second resolve is I will accept the other person as he is, with all his limitations. And then I will not nag, I will not trouble the other person, I will not expect emotional support. I will not expect attention from the other person. Instead, I will give space to the other person. Let him be on his own for some time. Then ultimately, I will try to emotionally contribute to the other person by speaking nice words, by developing a healthy attitude and communicating my healthy attitude. That is how one has to practice emotional contribution. Then, second, discipline that is needed to be free from emotional dependency is cultivating a relationship with the Ishvara. When we cultivate dependence on Ishvara, we find a terra firma, an emotional terra firma in Ishvara. Then we find a true support, and we are no longer in need of support from the other people, because as long as we seek emotional support from people in the world, we cannot find adequate spiritual support. Sorry, adequate emotional support. Therefore, cultivate dependence on Ishvara. Cultivate love for Ishvara. The more we cultivate relation with Ishvara, we are free from emotional dependency. We no longer depend on relatives or friends, etc. Now, finally, the ultimate means to be free from emotional dependence is to discover one's true nature, Atmajnana. Because the Shastra says, Kenopanishad says, Atmana vindate viryam. One can derive virya, strength, support from within. How? Vidyaya vindate mritam. By means of vidya, by means of Atmajnana. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate mritam. By means of Atmajnana, one can be absolutely free from the need for emotional support. Therefore, even Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Nachasya sarvabhuteshu kaschidardhavyapashrayah. in chapter 3, verse 17. A jnani does not have arthavyapashayaha, dependency on any individual. He is free from dependency on any individual because he has found the perennial source of support within himself. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.